Yeah. Whenever you're ready.
Okay. During my freshman year, I was chosen to play on the coveted varsity softball team at my high school. By coveted, I mean that at my school, softball is a commitment, a tradition, and a way of life. Only the best make the team, and for some reason my coach saw in a timid and intimidated freshman the potential to reach that expectation. All the older girls on the team made the game look so easy, but when I looked out on that barren clay field, I knew that success was not a given, and failure was an imminent threat. There was always the chance that I might strike out or make a mistake, that I might let the whole team down. What made matters worse was the pressure I felt from the people in my life to be perfect. That year, I'd encountered the vehement rage of my coach if I made a mistake. The yelling, the running, the punishment. I told myself I wouldn't let him get to me, but eventually it all did. The pressure from my coach to be perfect in every aspect of the game got to me. The pressure from my fans to win because we always won got to me. And perhaps the most disconcerting of all, I got to myself. My coach always says that softball is 90% mental. My mental game was off because the expectations were the sky and I sometimes got stuck on the first floor. But more than the pressure, more than the insecurity, I felt the failure, the suffocating blanket that trapped me. I feared the failure and I dreaded not living up to the expectations. It was almost to the point where I wanted to quit. But after fighting our way through a tough season my sophomore year, we finally made it to the playoffs. We were district champions, the pride of our school. And then we lost. We lost in the very first round of the playoffs. I came up to bat 3 times that game, and all 3 times I struck out. It was one of the most public, confidence-crushing experiences of my life. But that year and that game didn't have to happen that way. I didn't have to strike out 3 times in the most critical game of the season, and I didn't have to suffer the devastation of not living up to expectations. No, it didn't have to happen that way because I didn't have to try out for the softball team in the first place. I could have played it safe all my life, stuck with something that guaranteed success, where the expectations weren't nearly as high. I could have easily missed out on the disappointment I felt that day. Yet if I would have succumbed to my fear, I would have missed out on a number of other great things in my life too. I would have missed out on the adrenaline racing, heart pounding, anxious, nervous, glorious excitement I feel every time I step out under the white lights of the softball field. I would have missed out on the highlight of my softball career defensively. I caught all 4 balls hit to me in the outfield that day, which charged me with this ecstatic rush because I knew that if nothing else, I was a better player and person for my experience. And I knew that, win or lose, I had faced my crippling fear of failure, and I had risked myself. In fact, that game sums up my whole softball experience, the best and worst experience of my life. As I look back on last year's season, I realize how truly valuable the experience turned out to be. I learned that I'm not perfect, and that has to be okay. Perfection is an ideal, not a reality. The reality is that we must accept the glories as well as the defeats of life. Now I have the confidence to face those challenges, to stare down those fears that used to haunt me. There will be challenges in my life, just as there will be challenges in the lives of us all. Sometimes we'll strike out, and sometimes we'll hit a home run. And that is the chance of life, of living without those fears that hold us back. But we can never learn from those moments of devastation or know the truly sweet taste of success if we don't have the courage to try.